welcome to or back to my channel. My name is Christina if you're new here, and today we're going to be talking about my 5-star reads that I have so far from the year 2024. It is currently September 2nd. I finished 68 books so far. 2024 has been like the best time for me when it comes to reading. I have just been getting banger after banger.
I hardly know her.
So I'm really excited to talk about them with you guys. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And let's get right on into the video. If you haven't already, please follow me on Goodreads. I would really appreciate if you followed me on Goodreads.
Let's be friends.
The Switch by Beth. I read that. This feels like a decade ago. Good evening. The Switch by Beth. It's about so Lena is in her 20s and it's kind of going through like a bit of a hard time. From what I remember, her job is making her take a 2-month sabbatical, and she's obviously not happy. She's like, wow, I don't need to do that. Her grandmother is sort of going through a similar thing, but her grandma is 79, so they kind of swap places for the 2 months. It's just so fascinating, and I love seeing like characters being taken out of their comfort zone and being pushed to grow, to see more of themselves and their potential. I mean, even at 79, like the amount of growth that Eileen had within the 2 months was insane, and it was amazing, and she was having so much fun. The character development was amazing and the writing was amazing. It's funny, full of life and life lessons, and I just loved it so much, and I didn't even expect it. I didn't know anything about it. I kind of just found it on a whim, and then I saw it was narrated by Daisy Edgar Jones. I was like, oh my god, I love Daisy Edgar Jones. I recommend it to so many people because I just feel like anyone can read it. There is a romance on both of their ends. I love it. Now, Stage Dive, the series. Oh my god. If you've never heard of this series, it's a rock star romance. Forget any other rock star romance you've ever read, okay? Forget it. Because these are it. These are where it's at, baby. But specifically 2 and 3. It's like interconnected standalones in a way, but like please read them all, especially for the 3rd one. So the first one is the lead guitarist, the second one is the drummer, third one is the lead singer, and then the 4th one is the bass player. The 4th one was Andy's favorite. And then the first one I liked. I was like pleasantly surprised, and then it just kept getting better and better until the 4th one, but that's just because of the character himself. But these 2 characters, So the second one is called Play, and it says Mal Erickson, the drummer of the world famous rock band Stage Dive. He needs to clean up his image, so he hires Anne to be his fake girlfriend, and Anne is like a very sweet, very innocent girl, and I believe there's Anne is best friends, I think, with the girl was in the first book. They're like total opposites in terms of personality, but also at the same time they just complement each other so well, and the way that they just like fit together like 2 perfect puzzle pieces, and it's amazing. The chemistry is just insane, the writing is wonderful, and I mean, healthy relationships that communicate with one another, it just felt like they weren't fighting the romance, like it was just so natural. But then the 3rd one, Jimmy, the lead singer, he started out as like a jerk, like a terrible person. He's out of rehab, sober. He has his like personal assistant that she ends up saying like, oh, I have a crush on you, I need to leave, like this isn't professional anymore, but I have a crush on you. And then he's like, no, that's fine, no, we're gonna get through it together, because I'm gonna make you realize that you don't actually like me, because he sees himself as like such a flawed person. I don't know, I just want to spoil. There's a specific scene where he has someone else take her out on a date, and then he ends up going to the date, and he's like, this literally is not good enough for her. You thought that this was good enough for her? No. He ends up replacing the guy on her date. It's so literally kicking my feet. I love it. Then we have French Kissing in New York, and the main by Anne Oh, that's French. I will put the author on the screen because I do not want to butcher this. And I am actually on a time crunch right now. You wouldn't believe it with how much yapping I'm doing. She meets a boy in Paris. She's from Paris and he lives in New York. They have this one magical night where they're like, oh my God, she's like, he's my soulmate. There's an overwhelming amount of chemistry between them. They promise each other to meet up in New York a year later because she wants to be a chef, and so she's moving there with her dad. She's kind of sent on this wild goose chase trying to find this boy throughout the summer with the help of someone that she works with, the boy around her age or the same age as her. They also just have like this instant chemistry, like clicking right off the bat. The main character is just so charming. She's very optimistic, very four-dimensional. I felt like there was so much texture within the pages and detail, the perfect amount where it was, you could picture the setting perfectly. It was very immersive. I really liked it. Yeah. We're gonna talk about Bride. I loved this. I need to snap my back. This book is so good. Vampires, wares, not werewolves, but like she calls them wares. Enemies to lovers, arranged marriage, marriage of convenience, two species that are like pit against each other, but like married so that they can have peace within each other. Just peace. So there's no like bad blood between them anymore, even though there's still is bad blood. She's so funny and it's just so smart. And it was also very different, I think, to what Ali Hazelwood has come out in the past. Obviously it's like a paranormal romance, but it's just like something that I haven't seen before or I haven't read before, and I felt like there was a lot of satire. And yeah, I 1000% recommend it. I just feel like no matter how you're feeling, like if you're feeling happy, sad, stressed, any of the underlying emotions, I think that anyone and everyone will love this book. It's just really good. Trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me. And also the spice was really good. I was so shocked. I feel like mainstream books, the spice is very hit or miss, especially with romance. Sometimes it's copy and paste and like it's not good. But this, I was like, that's different. I like it. I liked it a lot. So
should read it.
Then we have Bewitched. You know, this is one of those things where it's like, this was a guilty pleasure read. I think it's a witch romance, like a witch and then like a warlock, super powerful witch warlock dude. I was invested in this. Let me see if I can try and read this. At age 20, Selena Bowers desperately hopes to be accepted into Heyyyy Coven, an academy for young witches. Since one of the requirements for entry is to connect with their powers via a quest through the wilderness, Selena books a trip to South Africa. When a nefarious supernatural force tries to drag her plane from the sky, Selena's magic awakens to save her life at a cost. Using her powers, devours her memories, one by one. Worse, when Selena braves the jungle and discovers the source of the attack, she finds herself awakening an ancient evil, Memnon the Cursed, who mistakes Selene for being his long-dead wife, the wife who betrayed him. Selene manages to escape and begin her studies at Heyyyy, but when Memnon turns up at the Coven and witches are found dead across campus, Selene becomes entangled in a dangerous plot. Accused of the murders on the basis of her memory loss, Selene must rely on Memnon's help for answers, and his plans for her will change everything. Now, I mean, that just sounds really interesting to me. It felt like watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the TV show, the one on Netflix. It felt like the atmospheres were literally the exact same. I don't know exactly what made me give it 5 stars other than it was just extremely entertaining and I connected with the characters, and also I do love anything with witches. I am biased when it comes to that. I love witches. I've always been interested in witches since I was really young. I always wanted to be a hex girl. Then we have the Flatshare by Beth. I love this, I love this, I love this. Tiffany and Leon, they end up sharing a flat together, but they don't share it at the same time. They've also never met each other. Tiffany is recently separated from her boyfriend, who was terrible to her. And they end up leaving sticky notes to each other and end up getting to know each other through the sticky notes, and their romance forms through that, and then they when they finally meet, it's magnetic and it's so funny. I swear, Beth O'Leary and we have the same sense of humor. I love it, I love it, I love it. The romance was just so healthy, and it was, oh my gosh, it was like a bundle of joy and happiness. It was a warm and fuzzy environment, and I loved it. I recommend it to so many people. It's a great time. And then we have The Kiss of Deception. This is a pretty old book, I think. The reprint was published in 2014, but it's an arranged marriage. The kingdoms are going to marry, but she ends up running away. Like the day of the marriage, she ends up dipping, and she ends up going over to this town with her best friend slash maid. They end up like starting this life together, but there's like different POVs, the prince, and then there's also an assassin who's on the hunt for her. But both of these men end up like falling in love with her, but you don't know who the assassin is and you don't know who the prince is. Like it'll just go between these two point of views. It was so much fun, and I loved it. It was so nostalgic because I used to read stuff like this when I was younger, and I was so obsessed with it. So I gave it 5 stars. It was really good. I couldn't put it down. But I didn't continue this series, but I want to. I was halfway through the second book, and then I just got caught up in something else, and then I just never went back to it, but I'm gonna go back to it. And then we have The Plot Twist by Victoria Walters. Oh my god, this was so good. I just saw it and it was like viral TikTok sensation, and like I don't have TikTok. I was like, okay, sure, let me just start listening to it, and then I was hooked. It had its claws in me. I liked it. Her new boss is her ex-boyfriend. She was with for 5 years, and then he left. I'm sorry, I'm leaving you. And he moved to New York. She was devastated, really, really heartbroken. And then she gets a new job. They cut everyone. Luckily, she is not one of the people that is cut. It's like them rekindling their romance, but also she's on a deadline to promote this book of one of her favorite authors who has been like let down, but she has to get it to #1 on the bestsellers list. They're on like a time crunch to success. Also at the same time, they're rekindling their romance, and it's the sweetest thing because they never fell out of love with each other. Oh, it was so sweet. It made my insides all gooey. Yeah. Oh, finally. 2 books I have! These are the last 2 books. The Last Love Note by Emma Gray. This book made me cry. Happy and sad tears. Oh my gosh, this was just, oh my god. I didn't expect to get as attached to this book as I did. Even thinking about it, it's just crazy the amount of story that's in these pages. I was highlighting like crazy. Hands down, the most beautiful book I've read this year, and also I think my favorite book that I've read this year. This did it for me. This changed my life. That sounds so dramatic, but once you read it, it's just like, damn. But 2 years after losing her husband, Cameron, Kate is a bit of a mess. From one comedic crisis to the next, she does her best to navigate work, friendships, and parenting a 5-year-old without Cam's support. And you go through, she lost her husband, Cam, to Alzheimer's. I mean, they were together since they were very young. It switches back from the past to present, past to present. So you're seeing her heart break, but also her heart repair itself. You see 2 sides of this story in a way. I've never read anything like it. I mean, it was hard. This book was really hard to get through. I don't know, there was a light at the end of the tunnel, and I mean, I can't recommend this book enough. If you can handle it, if it's too triggering, please like proceed with caution or don't read it at all. If any of that sounded interesting, I 1000% recommend it. I'm sweating. I have cold sweats. And then the last book I'm gonna be talking about is, I want to eat this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Oh my god, if I could reread a book. If I could reread a book. I mean, I could reread a book, but then I would feel a little guilty because I have other books I need to read. But this is fucking amazing. From the moment I saw it, I was like, I know I need to read that book. I know I won't be able to listen to it. I know I need it in my hand. Boy, was I right. Wow, this is good. Truly, Madly, Deeply by Alexandria Bellefleur. Right after this, I read The Fiancé Farce. Also really good. I think these covers are beautiful. Absolutely stunning. I don't think I've ever read a book with so much just natural sexual chemistry, but also just not even not even just sexual chemistry, just romantic chemistry. Like, I mean, it was palpable. It was within every single word, every single page. It really seemed like everything just came so natural. Like, it was just so smooth, so buttery. Like, everything was just so good. Oh my God. Like, I mean, how, yeah. So good. She's a romance novelist and he is a divorce attorney. They end up going on a podcast together. They start butting heads right away and it sort of seems like they're gonna be enemies, but it's a little forced at the beginning. That's the only thing that I didn't really like. But the communication between these two characters was, I love when people have an issue and they communicate with one another. They had this connection right from the beginning and they kind of went for it, and it's so funny. Oh, it's so funny. As they go from enemies to friends, something else entirely, Truly discovers that they have more in common than she ever imagined, including their shared queerness. They are both bisexual. He's genuinely a good guy, charming, sweet, and equally as unlucky in love as she is. And there's something about Colin that drives Truly a little wild. When their attraction reaches a fever pitch, Truly is happy for the first time in years, yet she can't help but wonder, is Colin truly madly, deeply in love with her, or is it all too good to be true? I mean, oh, it was so good. I don't think I've ever read a book that had a romance quite like this. Being so for real, this book was so good. Could recommend this a million times. Like, all of these books that I've talked about, I would like them to be buried with me. I would like to read them in the afterlife. These are the books that I would, like, if I had to take books to the afterlife, these would be the books. And other books. But these ones I was like, I feel like I could read over and over and over again, and I would be happy to read these for eternity. Along with the other books that I gave 5 stars to in the previous years. Can't forget about them. I love them too. That's gonna be it for today. I'm not gonna talk about the ones that I gave 4.85 stars, 4.8 stars, because there's a lot of those. And also you could look at my Goodreads. I love my Goodreads. I've talked about them previously because I've read some good books. I guess I'm just a lucky girl. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you check out these books because I love them. I back them up 100%. I have vlogs coming. I swear I could tell you exactly what's in the next one that I'm editing right now. The Love of My Afterlife by Christy Greenwood, Drop Dead by Lily Chu, Apprentice to the Villain, and Funny Story. Those are those are the ones that I read so far in that vlog. That's going to be coming next, unless I film another sit down video, which I probably will. Yeah, let me know what you want to see from me. Literally, please, I beg. Like, what do you want? Anyways, yeah, I'll see you soon, okay? I promise, okay? Love you, bye!